Craft brews and casual conversations back at it after a little breather. I'm Drew.
I'm Rob.
We are drinking a wheat beer. This is Dudes with Brews on a Porch. Intro.
You're about to hear the greatest show of your life.
Dude.
Dudes with Brews on a Porch with Rob and Drew.
I was going to say it, but I was like, do I say it? Should I say it?
I think you have to now.
Yeah, is it? Okay.
I think it's part of
been
the
established.
shtick. So obviously last week didn't happen. I think there was a day that we were going to do it on Saturday. You felt like trash, and I couldn't stay.
I think it was, we were going to do it on Saturday. Something happened on Saturday. And then Tuesday, I felt like trash. We were going to do it on Tuesday.
Well, there's that, and then we were going to do it Saturday too, right?
What day is it today?
Today is last week Saturday. We were
Yeah.
gonna do it.
So, but that was the first day we were going to do it. It was Friday or Saturday. And but it was during the week that I felt like trash because Saturday I felt fine.
Oh, okay.
I feel like Saturday something else didn't.
I couldn't stay away. I just kept falling asleep.
That's right. Yep. And I was tired that weekend too. That was a weird weekend. So.
Yeah, and then I had a show, saw the Menzingers, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Okay. Now things are starting.
Yep.
I think neither one of us made the attempt. Like we were like, let's do it on Saturday, and then Saturday came and went, and I called you on Sunday, and I was like, sorry, I didn't call you yesterday, and you're like, yeah, I was sleeping all day anyway, and
yeah,
and it was like mutually we just both were like, we'll let it go.
Yeah, sometimes you need to take a breather, you know.
Yep.
Even Conan O'Brien's podcast is on break right now, so
there's a lot. I mean,
but we usually keep it going. We're drinking. How do you say it? Oberon Ale, which is from Bell's Brewery. It's a wheat beer, an American wheat beer, in which the ale's fermented with Bell's signature house ale yeast, mixing a spicy hop character with mildly fruity aromas. In addition to the wheat malts, the addition of wheat malts, still can't read, lends a smooth mouthfeel, making it a classic summer beer, which, it looks like a hazy IPA to me. Like it's very thick. It's very, bright cover. It's pretty.
So it's the color and scent of a sunny afternoon.
Yeah, it's pretty. I like it.
That's on the can.
Oh, you shouldn't have mentioned that. I thought you were being very poetic.
I can't.
You're just reading.
Yep. I can't plagiarize that. Anybody that goes and gets this beer will be like, oh, I thought Rob was deep.
So this is another beer from Michigan. So
I'm not gonna lie. I drank one of these up in Michigan.
Oh, you did?
So but I don't remember what it.
There weren't any measurements for the IBUs. I think it was like 6%.
I remember I finished it up there, so it can't be super sour.
Well, wheat beers usually aren't sour. It's got a.
Should I know that by now?
Probably.
Yeah. It's not bad. In the aftertaste, I took my sip, and I would say like a good second after I swallowed, all of a sudden I got some of that like a fruity kind of taste.
Yeah. It's light. It's definitely light. Like it doesn't look light. It looks very kind of dense, but it goes down real easy.
Yeah.
It's fizzy. I like that.
No, this is not a bad one. I like this one.
Mm-hmm.
I like the can.
The can is very beautiful.
I see the can and I go, I want to drink that.
There's definitely a summer beer.
Yeah.
Summer beer. All right, Rob. So let's get into the nitty gritty here. So yesterday, I had to take the day off of work for a court-ordered parenting class. So anyone in the state of Wisconsin who is getting divorced with children, or had not divorced with children, but they have kids, they're getting divorced. The state of Wisconsin requires you to take this 3-hour class that you have to pay for about co-parenting, ways to go about it or whatever. I get why they're doing it. I understand it. But at the same time, it's 3 hours. You had to take off of work. And so yesterday I walk into this room and there's probably about 50, 60 other people in there. And you're just thinking, wow, all these people are getting divorced.
Wow. Yeah, that is insane.
Which is a lot.
Were there people there that were divorcing each other?
Yeah.
In the same class?
Yeah.
Were they civil with each other? Any fights break out?
No. For the most part, it seemed like a lot of the people did sit together. So they had the ability of getting along.
Yeah. How many?
There were a lot of people. There were other people though that sat alone.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, like I was like, all right, I'm gonna sit here. There's 3 hour class, listen to the shit that I already know about, which all these other people know about, but for whatever reason we have to do it. But you know what they tried to do, or they did do? They separated us into groups and we had to go do group work. And I was like,
well, a 60-person class. 30. High schools get flack for 30-person classes.
Right.
So you're not getting the individual parenting attention that you deserve.
I'm saying to take a group of people that absolutely nobody wants to be there. Nobody wants to be there. And to break them up and put them into groups to do group work.
What is a group work?
Like a group activity.
Well, what? Give me an example of what you had to do.
We had to watch videos and then say, what this person did wrong or this. I don't know. It was dumb. But I was like, I'm just like, all these people are incredibly miserable right now. And you're going to try to get us to interact with each other?
Yeah, there's a new show instead of Married with Children, Divorced with Children, and it's about a guy who teaches the divorcee class.
There you go. It's not a bad idea. It was fine. We went, we paid the fee, and then it was done.
Fee.
$40.
So a mandatory class that they make you take, and then they make you take off work for, and then they make you pay for.
Right.
And so did you get an A?
I think all you had to do was pay the money and sit and listen. And then you pass.
That sounds like...
there was no test.
Yeah, that sounds a little iffy to me.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know. I just thought it was... To me, it just seemed funnier because, they were talking about one form and one guy's just like, he's like, they're like, so if they're, you have to make a correction on the form, you just cross it out neatly and then you both sign it.
I had to do a safety training at work, a 2-hour mandatory thing with a test.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, there's going to be a test, but don't worry, we'll go over it together.
Well, this wasn't a test, but
it's like they don't care if they just need to know, you need to sign the sheet.
Right.
And then we'll make sure you pass, don't worry.
Yeah, but this one, she was talking about legal paperwork and the events of if you need to change something, you both have to cross it out, or you just have to cross it out and you both have to initial saying
I got you. All right.
Yes, you made this edit. And one guy raises his hand. He's an older gentleman. And he goes, what if one person lives in one state and another person lives in another state? You expect us to just mail it back and forth? And the lady's like, yeah.
It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
actually.
and he goes, and then he's just like, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. And she's like, that's what you have to do. And then
wow.
I wanted to be like the class clown and be like, wonder why that guy's getting divorced. That was my first thought. But I was like, time and place, might
probably
not be so good.
That's not the kind of guy you want to make,
No. And he was like, during the group work.
Wait, you expect me to go to the store, get an envelope,
and
get a stamp, then go back to my house, lick it, write on it,
right?
Go leave again, put it in a mailbox. And then
much.
make a call and make sure it got there, and then wait for it to come back. What do you think I am?
Right. And then during I don't know if his former significant other was there or not, but at one point I saw him turn around and just glare at somebody during some sort of conversation. I think he was trying to make a point. Then you're like, oh, you don't talk, we don't have good communication, so they're talking about communication. He turns around, like that dick look
that would have been great.
See, motherfucker, he just had that glare and I saw it. I'm like, bro,
yeah. Yeah.
It's
It would have
really,
been
like-
great if you would have made that joke. Like,
I wish I
wonder,
would've.
wonder why he's getting divorced, and then some random lady in the way in the back goes, "Hallelujah!"
Just starts laughing.
Yeah, that's his ex-spouse.
Yeah, and there's some other people that were just like bitching the whole time, and I'm just like, it's almost done. Let's move on.
Yeah,
You know, I just thought
yeah.
I'm not like I'm bitching about it without bitching about it, but I thought it's a waste of time. But then you know what? I got done at noon. I picked up Madison. Actually, I came home and mowed my lawn that I haven't mowed in a week and a half. It looks great.
Does look good.
Thank you very much. I pride myself on my lawn, and
I think that comes with home ownership.
yeah, you know, it's an important thing. I do clean up the dog poop every once in a while. Actually, I try to do it every day.
Yeah.
It's so mushy though.
Yeah, it's better to let it. You know, like
That's
when it's in your own yard, it's like I'll let that one
Air it
solidify.
out,
Yeah.
so it gets a little harder, and that's what I try to do. But then it's been so rainy,
yeah, then it
and
just
then
beats it into the ground.
you walk out and you're like, I got like 8 piles of shit I got to pick up, and then so my problem is I get the plastic bag, and I pick it up. You know, you do the inside out thing, you pick it up.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm just dry heaving because it's so gross and it's so much like
yeah.
I'm picking them.
My dad's got the same like gag
And then
reflex.
the fucking like neighbors and Chris are just laughing their asses off at me, and I'm just like,
It's bad, yeah. It's bad enough to be somebody that has to follow a dog around and clean up after it, but then when you're also like
Being
trying to
mocked.
keep your face as far away from it, but still going,
and you're, you know, like, and
then you throw up and you got to pick that up. Too.
right now because I don't really have an ideal like backdoor situation at my house, as you know.
Yeah, yep.
You have to go through the gazebo to get to the back.
You go
Which-
through your room, and
I'm not complaining that, you know, oh, he's got to go through the gazebo, fucking yuppie or something like
It
that.
is a weird setup, though.
It is. So it's just easier for me to bring Phil out through the front,
Yep.
and I want to kind of get him accustomed to that, so then he can eventually, you know, communicate through the front door that he's got to go.
Yeah.
And he just goes. So I'll get him a leash today, or a big like lead, so he can run outside and everything like that. But yeah, so all the poop is in the front yard.
Yep.
So I kind of like had to make a conscious effort. Like I can't just have my front yard littered in shit. Nor would I want to. Nor would I
some
want the
people don't-
backyard.
Yeah, some people don't care, but I've always like you can tell. Like,
Yeah.
you never want to be that guy.
And it's gross. It's like it
is, yeah.
Even in the backyard, I've known people that have had dogs, and like the poop is just everywhere. Like it's different if it's in like one central location, kind of, or they're gonna pick it up later. But
It's always insane to me when people have small children and dogs and they don't like, and they just let their dog, like, you know, you go and you
Yeah.
see their backyard where their kids play, and
covered
it's
in
like
shit.
just covered in shit, and it's all
gross.
dirty, and like
Super
there's like
gross.
mud. It's like mud from them just like letting the dog like run everywhere and not like in one small whatever.
yeah.
But
So it's but yeah, it's so gross. I hate picking it up. I gag every single time, and everyone thinks it's real funny.
well, I'll
Wait till I shit in their yard,
Yeah,
and
right.
they have to pick it up.
How do you feel about that? But speaking of yard work, and I'm going to say man work, I know that that's probably
Wow.
the wrong thing to say in this day and age. But I did some. I fixed my car this last week.
Yeah, you
know?
did it by yourself too.
Yeah. Pulled up.
Proud of you.
Yeah,
You-
yeah.
you did
save some money.
You see, you know, the last time I was fixing my car in my driveway, you're just like, you were impressed because you're like, you say you're gonna do something and then you do it, and then you did that.
I did.
You said you told me I could never do that, and you did.
Yeah,
Look at you, see?
Yeah. It wasn't as bad as I thought. It was pretty fun actually.
Well, the funny part of it is, like the last few times I fixed my car, you've been there to help me.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're completely helpless.
But I mean, you're like willing to go. Well, that's got to come off. So here's the hacksaw. I'm taking it off. Like
I did do that.
yeah, like I brought that up that day, and they're like, "Wait a minute, what? Do you hack some stuff off his car?" It's like, "Hey, it had to go."
Yeah, they had to get it out.
But then this weekend, I'm doing some. I'm laying some gravel, some concrete.
Are you laying some pipe?
Yeah, laying some. No, some concrete.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some more man work. So I get to feel like a real guy.
So I want to
Wear a tank top, get a tan.
Yeah, there you go. Wear a tank.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I'm.
Maybe I'll get a tattoo.
I'm afraid to do.
Concrete.
Wear a tank top.
Oh, I used to be afraid of wearing a tank top too, but
My
now
body dysmorphia. or is it body dysmorphia, or is it my accurate depiction of my body image?
It's body dysmorphia.
Oh, thank you. I think I'd rather it be that way.
You got to do that thing where you draw how big you think you are, and then you lay down inside it, and somebody takes a picture, and then they go, "See, you're way smaller than you think you are." That's how you.
What? My thing would be I would draw it too small, and then I would hate myself. I would hate myself. That would be a bad. I'd never want to do that experiment because I would.
What do you want? You want me to guess my weight before I get on a scale too?
Yeah,
just like.
Yeah, that's a dangerous game. But yeah, something I want to do, and I've been looking into, and maybe the listeners can provide some guidance with me. I want to put in my own privacy fence in my backyard. It seems very difficult to do, though. They say each post takes about two bags of concrete.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of work. I mean, I don't have like the world's biggest yard, but I definitely have like a wider yard.
It depends on how. I don't know.
Should I include the trees, or should I put it in front of the trees?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Is that you've got trees right on your property line. So,
if anything,
that'd be a dispute that you'd have to go through with your. Where your line actually is, because you might have to go on this side of the trees, because if you go on the other side of the trees and pour the concrete, and then like your neighbors would come out and be like, "What you doing on my lawn?" Then you hear a shotgun.
I don't think they would do that. My one neighbor asked me like a couple of weeks ago. He's just like, "I was thinking about getting a pool. You'd be interested in going half?" And I'm just like, have a shared pool. Like, first of all, where would we put it? And would I be comfortable with if you put it in my yard? Am I comfortable?
Well, it's going to go 3/4 in your yard.
Right. How would you do that?
But we'll go halvesies.
But I'm just like, would I be comfortable with you having people over in my yard?
Right.
Or would you be, or vice versa? Like, I don't know.
I'm
talking
will.
about building
You
a
should
privacy
go.
fence.
I will, but I swim in the nude.
It's like, I should be like, well, I'm actually looking to build a privacy fence to actually seclude myself even further from any interactions with my neighbors. Even though I do like them.
Yeah,
they're very nice. The other people are very nice, but just not my flavor, not my type.
And
I don't mean that like. I just mean that like I don't think our personalities would mesh.
Yeah.
If we got to know each other, I feel like they would not.
They'd be like talking about you and like
like
that
the town
guy.
halls.
You're the black sheep of the neighborhood.
That new guy that came in from Fond du Lac.
The guy that gags when he picks up poop.
What kind of man? What kind of man gags when he picks up the dog poo? Why has he even got a dog, man?
I just heard a story about
He
a
drinks
guy
some fancy beers. He doesn't drink the Coors Light like us. I want him out.
I heard, I just talked to somebody that was like, that had a reaction to that when I told them about the podcast. They're like, I don't know if they said fancy beers or whatever, but they said something along those lines. They're like, yeah, I stick to good old Coors. And I was like, that's great for you.
There's not like, you can't even say that like craft beer anymore is fancy because the market is saturated with craft beers. I prefer, like, you get a better taste. Like, so after a year or so of doing this podcast, I had a Coors Light for the first time, or a Bud Light, and I was like, this is disgusting. Because I don't know. I'm just saying, like, to say though, like that it's fancy beer, it's really not, because I think there's more craft beers than there are like domestic commercial beers now. There has to be.
I don't know what the difference is.
Like commercial, a conglomerate like Anheuser-Busch, and they even own a couple like craft breweries.
So when you say craft brewery, is that a micro brewery?
Yeah, like what we're drinking right now is a craft brew.
So I guess I never put that together. That craft is. I thought I don't know.
When I say craft or craft and microbrewer, it's the same thing.
It's
They're
like an
synonymous.
artistic, independent.
Right. So like craft beer, you can only get in certain regions for the most part.
And casual
once you get-
conversation you can only get here.
I like that. And then once you get to the Miller Lite, the Bud Light, Pabst, and all that shit, that's an international thing. That's more of a commercial beer. You know,
For some reason, I thought that craft was just like when they call cigarettes like filtered or
craft beer,
roasted
like-
or whatever.
So yeah,
they call it,
these
you
are
know,
all
like-
from like microbreweries. You know,
All right. No, it makes sense now that now that we're breaking down the word, like because craft obviously means like artistic, and,
Right.
And
right. And
yeah,
they call them
interesting.
microbrews, you know, because it's a smaller scale brewery. They're not. They don't distribute internationally or anything like that. It tends to be fairly local, fairly regional.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, you know, we're gonna get beer in Wisconsin. We're gonna obviously have Wisconsin beers, Michigan, Illinois, Minnesota.
yeah, easier
Those
to
are
get
kind of
around
Iowa.
here,
Those
yeah.
are kind of the beers that we're gonna get.
Tri-state area.
We get the Kona Brewing, which is technically a craft brewery, but I think they're a little bigger. But they're still, they essentially, you know, it's a smaller scale. It's nothing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's nothing like Miller.
Yeah.
It's nothing like Bud Light or anything like that.
yeah.
I used to drink Coors all the time. I actually had a Coors not that long ago, and it went down well because it's it's essentially water.
Yeah.
You just put it down. You know, you don't. It didn't taste horrible, but
Man, I
you don't
drank-
enjoy
yeah.
the flavor. Like I don't. I pound a Coors. I sip and enjoy the American wheat that we're drinking.
As it should be.
Mm-hmm.
As it should be.
As it should be. You're right. And I don't know. I like the idea of drinking different beers and never trying them again because I'm on the search
Yeah.
for the best beer. Even though like I'll lean back on a couple of the same ones. Pseudo Sue is always one that I enjoy from Toppling Goliath. I don't know, but I always try to.
I would like to try another Dead and Dead to see if I like it as much as I did.
You've had two. Oh, I'm sorry. I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I was thinking you've had two Rogue Brewing.
Yeah, I've had two.
Which we
Rogues,
never did
but-
that one because you drank them both.
Yeah, but you said you already did it. That's why I drink them both. You already did that beer on the podcast
Did
with
we?
somebody else. That's why that's what you told me, didn't you? I feel like the
I don't
first
know.
couple beers that I picked up for the podcast, you were like, "Oh, we did that one already." Well, not we, you and somebody else.
You the proverbial we.
Yeah, you know,
We're in this
we
together.
As in the podcast.
We're in this
world,
together.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Since we got back, did I talk about the hot passport stuff?
No. Is there something new with that?
No, I went to a bunch of them in Madison,
Oh, I think we did talk about
Did
that
I?
in the last episode.
and I talked to the one about the one that was horrible.
Yep. Yeah, we did.
Okay. Yeah, and it was so gross. It's gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Well, that was like that bourbon beer that I tried that we like when we went
It's
to
overpowering,
That
dude.
thing was ridiculous.
That brewery was fucking awesome. It was really
Yeah,
cool.
it's a good brewery and honestly a very flavorful beer if you like bourbon.
That pineapple milkshake I had was like the milkshake IPA, so good. But yeah, I'm not really that big of a bourbon person, and I don't know. I
I
can't
always
get over.
want to be. I wanted to be so like when I
You're
drank,
sophisticated when you were at it.
like when I was younger and I did go down a Scotch phase and I like
Yeah.
Scotch when I drink there's Scotches I don't like for sure.
I don't like
and
Scotch
there were
at all.
Scotches that I did like and I could drink. I could sip them and I could drink.
Right.
But it's more of a mental thing for me where it's like I remember that I bought. I don't even remember the kind it was, but it was like an aged, whatever. Probably it wasn't like a super expensive, but I had bought it was a top shelf bottle of Scotch that I drank and drank the whole thing myself in a
you
weekend,
go.
and I probably shouldn't have, but it was so good that I was like, hell yeah, this is good, and I just didn't stop,
That's how I feel about when I buy and this is so lame. Like when I buy apple crumble pie from Pick and Save or Kroger's, whichever, or no, not Kroger's, Roundy's, right?
It's Kroger's now.
Is it? The last time I bought one, I ate it all of it,
Yeah.
and nobody else had a single,
Yeah.
even a sliver of that pie. I ate it all.
That's not that bad though.
Dude, that's bad for you.
Oh well, that's how I eat pie.
But it was so fucking good. I saw one.
yeah.
I saw that like they're kind of bringing it in already.
Yeah,
it's a little early, I think, for apple pie, but it's still there. It's here.
Yeah. But well, I was just gonna.
I
say
locked eyes with it, and I was just like, not today.
Yeah,
Soon.
Soon. But I went back and tried to drink that same scotch again later in life, and it wasn't as
Chris
good.
on there?
I can't see.
I thought I heard.
I heard something too, but.
Oh, so we should bring her on.
Yeah, so like but like bourbon was always one that it was like I wanted to be a guy that could go into a bar and be like, give me a bourbon, and slap a fucking silver coin down on the fucking bar. You know, like,
Silver dollar.
yeah.
Sir,
You're gonna need more than that,
sir.
sir.
It costs $6. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Do you want my patronage or not? You give me a bourbon and you give me a die.
But a silver coin, like a real silver coin, is worth like $25. Or
I don't know why I'm
$20 or 18
speaking
bucks.
with like that accent. We're in Wisconsin, for God's sake.
I heard somebody with a true Wisconsin accent.
Horrible. It is
And I was
the
like,
shittiest
I was
accent
like,
in the world.
why does that guy represent us? And
I hate it.
Yeah, it's
And you know, some people have said like they can tell. The people when like, you go to other places, they're just like, "Are you from Wisconsin?"
well, and
So obviously
my
mine's
therapist,
prevalent.
Yeah, my therapist said that she thinks you have a prevalent.
Your therapist is wrong.
Well, and I told her, I said, fuck off. No, I didn't say that to my therapist.
You said you want to get paid.
Sometimes she listens.
You better bite
so
your tongue.
Yeah, so I got to worry about what I say on here. Next week she's gonna go, I don't think so. How about fuck off, Rob? What do you think about that? And I'll go, God.
You know,
damn
it's
it."
funny. Like I've thought about consulting your therapist and booking some sessions, but I'm just like,
About my mental health? It's
not-
okay.
not
I'm
about
all
yours-
right.
Not about yours. But I was like, first of all, do I want my therapist to also be my friend's therapist?
That is weird, and I thought about that too.
And then I was like, and also I feel like she's already like analyzed me way too much. I'm not
Considering
into it.
how much I complain about you, yeah.
Do you really?
No, I'm just joking. No, but I advocate for you in there sometimes. Like she'll go, seriously, I'll like be like, oh, I'm so upset about this or whatever, or this, or I'll be talking about something and she'll go like, why do you invest yourself so much in Drew's life? You know, like, and it's like, I just want him to get more sleep.
I am.
Yeah, it was, you know, like, but that has definitely been like, because I do that with my friends where I like really.
I don't think it's a bad quality.
No, it's not, and that's
You're empathetic.
Yeah, it's called compassion, you know?
Right.
But then I'll let my
But
own.
some people
like,
would say obsessive.
it could be, yeah. Well, it's like, how many hours of sleep did you get today, Rob? 2. Well, why aren't you worried about how much sleep you get? Oh,
But Drew,
because I'm okay. But Drew really, you know,
I was bad.
I can die. It's okay. Drew, he needs to go on.
I mean,
As a joke, people. It's a fucking joke.
yeah, he's fine. Therapy help you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would say it's
Does it,
harder
like-
for me to see it, but other people, like lately, even actually in the last 2 weeks, a bit especially, like I've had to endure some things that people like. I was talking to my mom, and like I said something like, you know, well, I guess I just got to learn not to worry about not to help other people and help myself instead. And she was like, thank you for finally saying that. Like, she's like, I've heard you agree with people saying that, and I've heard you and I know I've said that to you and whatever, and I've just never heard you say it yourself and and like little things like that where people are like, oh, this is like something's changing in your outlook, and like the other day I did something so minute. I picked up a can that somebody threw in a bush and I put it where it was supposed to go. And an older guy that I was at the gas station, saw me do it. And he was like, did you just do that? And I was like, oh, I didn't throw it there. Like, you know, I thought he was like, being like, did you throw that thing there for whatever? And he was like, no, did you just pick up somebody else's garbage and take care of it? And I was like, it's one can, whatever. And he's like, took his hat off and he's like, I commend you. And I was like, I was like, such a small thing to commend somebody for.
Yeah.
And it was really difficult, but I had to in that moment, I had to take the compliment and go, well, thank you. I guess, whatever.
There you go.
Because I did try and backtrack, and he's like, no, not everybody would do that. I don't see, especially young people doing that.
Right.
But even saying that out loud now here on microphone makes me go, okay, now I'm no longer commendable because now I've put it out there.
And you're no longer young.
Yes, I'm not. No, yeah. But if I shave, I can get away with.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I have to shave more often now. I get these.
Proud of you.
This real it's just a line, and I wouldn't even shave if I got full facial hair, but I get this really dark line,
Like
just
white trashy
it's
line?
1 inch from here to here, which the
I think you should
podcast
grow
can't
it.
see it,
It could be a nice chop.
it could be just it's one line of hair. It's
Grow
not
it.
even like a
Grow it.
Yeah, should I?
Could be the new thing.
I've had
if it
it,
gets
yeah.
long enough, it'll cover your whole face.
Sure, I could have the wispiest beard. It's one line, one hair. It's
The one
straight
thing
down.
I appreciate about you, Rob, is that you embrace the fact that you cannot grow a beard. So many people are in denial about it, and it just looks like, I'm going to be blunt. I'm going to be honest here, Rob. It looks like they just have a bunch of pubes on their face.
Yeah.
And not just 40-year-old pubes, like prepubescent pubes.
Yeah.
When you get that little peach fuzz on your nuts, and what they got on their fucking face, and they try to grow it out.
Yep.
And it looks disgusting.
Yeah,
you got a nice thing going on here. You got a little goatee action. You could grow a solid goatee. I think you should. I encourage you to grow it out.
Well, I just trimmed it.
All right.
Because it does. I
let
get the mustache where it gets in my.
I feel like I have a weak mustache.
I can see where it gets a little thin on the edge.
Yeah,
but you don't want it to be long.
If I did only mustache, it wouldn't.
you wouldn't
be
get
good.
that Yosemite Sam going.
I wouldn't have the sophistication of a mustache only face. I have to have full beard.
What do you think about a mustache that stops at the lip edge? Because I think that looks ridiculous. If you're gonna have a mustache,
have the handlebars?
it's got to go down. It's got
Gotta
to
be
go
like a Hulk
it's got-
Hogan?
Yeah, you got to have a Hulk Hogan thing going, and you got to embrace it and make it long and bushy.
What about the people that do the little the handlebar? They wax her at the end, and it gets
But that as long as it goes past the lip edge, it works in terms of because mustaches are weird. I mean, let's really break this down for a second. Let's get past the biases of mustache, whatever.
Right.
Mustaches look weird.
it's like an eyebrow over your lip.
Yeah, it's just I've never
Little
the more
word
I
curtain.
see the more I see people with just a mustache, it's like what do you look in the mirror and you go that looks normal?
It's essentially like a filter for your food. You don't want to take it all in. So you're like, yeah, this little rest of the sludge can sit on my lip.
Yeah, I got a little mixed media filter for my drinking.
When you got a cold, it filters out all the boogers so it doesn't get in your mouth.
Yeah, that's
It's gross.
What about you ever see people with nose hair that actually
Nose hair?
Yeah, that long.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's gross.
Yeah,
it
I don't
attaches
get
to the mustache.
Yeah, I don't get how people
It's almost
can
like
do
the
that.
mustache comes
Yeah,
from the
it comes
nose.
straight- there was a while when I was a kid that's what I thought a mustache was. It just grew out of the nose
Every time I see a person of that has the waxed the handlebar mustache, you know what I mean? When it comes to the little curly Q.
Yep.
I always think they just got done tying a lady to the railroad tracks.
Oh, yeah,
back-
I feel like they just
and
came
they're
from.
"Yeah."
Whenever I see those people, I go, that guy just came from the Mustache Weekly Club.
I feel like-
because there are those clubs.
I feel like they rode in on one of those bicycles where the front tire's
Yeah,
really,
really
big.
big.
And then it's the
but,
rest of
but
it's small.
and they were running at 20 frames per second or so.
Yeah.
They skip a beat every time they move.
I just got done with the speakeasy, eh? Oh, give me a cigar.
I miss those types of portrayals.
Yeah.
But then, if you made a movie
I like
like that nowadays, the mustache culture would come after you and they'd go, "We're not all bad."
Is there, you think?
There is a mustache culture.
Yeah, there's a weird
There's an old timey.
Yeah, right.
There are clubs
a classic,
for that. Yeah.
There's a classic barber shaving with a straight razor and stuff like that. There's come back and this group unites. You know?
Yeah, they
It's-
have meetings and magazines and newspapers or whatever.
You have to have a full beard, otherwise you're not accepted. Or you have
Well,
to
no,
be,
you've got to have a specific, like, you can have the handlebar mustache. You can have that crazy, like, one of the coolest ones that I could never do or pull off, but is where it's the mustache that goes down into the side beard and then comes up, but you got nothing on your chin or your neck.
that
You know what I'm
looks
talking
horrible.
about? Like,
Yeah.
it's like an old school, like, you
Right.
do that and, like, or there's mutton chop enthusiasts. I mean, anything that you...
Josh. Josh.
Yeah, yep.
Every time I see him, his face looks different. He's either got a beard, he doesn't have a beard. One time he fucking did like the Hulk Hogan mustache, and he had chops as well. And he did it on purpose just to
Yeah.
make himself look ridiculous.
Little mix of like Wolverine and
Yeah,
Hulk Hogan.
it was a funny fucking picture. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't have the balls to do that. I haven't shaved my face. Like I've trimmed it obviously, but I've had a beard for at least the last almost 5 years, probably.
It's been a while, yeah. New study came out said that children find beards terrifying.
You know, my niece Olivia, when she was a baby, she would not let me hold her, and any other person that didn't have a beard, she was fine with. But when she had was in my hand, she wasn't into it.
But how does Santa Claus get through that?
Yeah.
When he
fuck?
calls this year, I think we got to ask him about it. How did you get your beard to get past the child terrifying
Should I get the British Santa again this year?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think that you get to choose.
Whichever app is free.
Yeah. But
Dude, I used that thing so much last year.
yeah.
That didn't really help. It helped for the moment.
Yeah.
That was a good episode we did, though.
Yeah. I go back and I listen to a couple of my I really liked Black Love or whatever, or Dark Love.
Dark Love?
Yeah, Dark Love.
I don't remember that one, dude.
That was a good
It's
episode.
been a long time.
I feel like I just remember laughing when I listened to it. So
Yeah?
somebody's calling.
Someone's calling? It's disappointing that you don't have that Taylor Swift song anymore.
I know, right?
It's very sad. Very,
Yeah,
very
and I wonder if
sad.
I can remember it because I used to know it by heart. Now I'm.
Carissa hates Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Hates her.
Like why?
I don't know, because she doesn't like, magical beauty and a voice, I guess. She doesn't like the voice of an angel.
She doesn't like dreams coming true. And
She doesn't like, perfect personifications of love flowing through her speakers.
she doesn't like thinking about being 22.
There's a special,
There's a not so deep cut for you Taylor Swift fans out there.
there's a good meaning between, I don't know about
Between
you.
you see, look at you're talking in Taylor Swift.
I don't know about you. I'm feeling 22.
Yeah, drink a Coke.
Drinking Coke.
I think that was on a Coke commercial.
When you're 22?
That 22 song.
Huh? Oh, I see what you
Yeah,
mean.
I think that song that she wrote was on a Coke, and they made it seem like Taylor Swift was always drinking a Coke when she wrote that song. So
She might
drink
have
a
been.
Coke and you'll write a song.
She might have been doing Coke. Just kidding.
That's a good correlation.
Now, we can't promote the use of the drug, but you
Yeah.
can drink.
But if you Coke, you'll make music. What was well? We think it's drink, but it might be do.
Some people might thrive off of that.
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't.
I think doing or drinking.
Doing.
Yeah, I think I think I
never wanted
would.
to
I
do it.
think I'd succumb to paranoia.
I'm never. I have no interest in any of that stuff.
Did you? So I was
Booger
listening.
sugar.
I was listening to I found a new podcast that I listened to.
Oh
quite
yeah, you can buy your
regularly.
sweatshirt.
No, I wore my Dudes with Brews this morning.
Yeah, it's pretty warm. You can't really wear that
Yeah,
one.
but it was cold this morning. I thought I was
perfect,
chilly.
dude.
Yeah,
Fucking
it was perfect for
wonderful.
It, was like, it feels like fall already. Like we got
I'm into
one or two. Yeah, I like fall, but we got two weeks of really hot summer, and that was it. It's Yardley Smith, I think, or I can't remember. She did the voice of Lisa Simpson, or does the voice of Lisa Simpson.
All right.
She was in Ghostbusters and a bunch of stuff. Anyway, it's
Ghostbusters.
I believe she was the
The receptionist?
Receptionist, yes. That's Lisa Simpson.
Is she really?
Yeah, I believe so.
No way.
Yep.
All right. What were we saying?
She's got a podcast. That's if you like.
I love her voice, by the way.
And her real voice is basically just like an octave lower than Lisa Simpson's.
She's from like New York. She's got like that old school New York accent.
Yeah.
That I really dig. I don't know why. I like the New York accent. Joe Pesci. It's sweet. I wish I had that. I wish, I wish Wisconsin has a cool accent, except for like, oh gosh.
Yeah. Instead of slow, I'd rather.
Sounds
Yeah,
fucking
it's like,
stupid.
we're the opposite of New York. The opposite of badass. Like in every way.
Oh, hey there.
Oh, sorry there.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to bump into you. I'll buy you a beer.
You want a beer? Yeah.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah. That's
the one thing. Like, I do love Wisconsin. But that is the one fucking thing I hate is that stupid accent.
Give it 10 years. You'll love it.
No, I'll never like it.
Oh, we'll see.
See, I always thought we spoke normally. Like I always was like, yeah, this is how you're supposed to sound. And then you go other places and you're like, you sound way cooler than I do.
Did you have to work on that? Or?
You think people?
Hey there, did you have to work on the way you sound so cool there, eh?
Oh, you must be one of them out of towners, huh?
There's so many variations of the Wisconsin accent, though. It's like
it's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
I'm glad like the old, like you can definitely tell when someone has like an old school Wisconsin accent.
It's a mix of waiting for winter to end and self-conscious like guilt.
You just sound stupid.
Yes, I do.
I forget what you were saying.
Yep.
I'm not saying you sound stupid. I'm saying
that's that guilt. There it is. that self-deprecating paranoia.
What were you saying then?
But so on this podcast, it's like a true crime. It's
Annie Potts.
Annie Potts.
That's who plays.
Lisa Now, maybe.
No, that's who plays the receptionist.
Oh, okay. Then I was wrong about that. Sorry.
She plays Bo Peep in Toy Story.
Annie Potts, or
Annie Potts.
Okay, well then I'm getting to, but I swore she was in Ghostbusters. I thought she talked about it, but my bad.
She is in Ghostbusters.
Yardley is who I'm talking about.
No.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Annie Potts.
Oh.
I was wrong about that. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for real-time goddamn internet. Thank you, Google, for again proving how wrong I always am.
There is an actress named Lisa Simpson. That's a bummer, huh?
Yeah, that's interesting. Does she play the sax? Is she a rebel?
Actually she is.
Good for her.
No, what were you saying?
Do you want to hear? No, it's a true crime podcast where it's not like cold cases. They go back and go through cases with the detectives that solve the case. Mm-hmm. It's interesting, but there's this one case that was two things that we said today made me think of this one case. When we were talking about your neighbors and stuff, and then also talking about this like kind of paranoia thing or whatever.
Yeah.
This person, they dug tunnels through their entire neighborhood from their house outward, and they were like miles of tunnels that went to every single house.
Oh, really?
And no one knew until there was he hired some guy to do some like computer work, I don't remember what the computer work was that he was doing, but like he basically like kidnapped this dude, put a hood on him, took him down into these tunnels, and then like left him there with a computer and a bucket and some water, and like was like, all right, this is where you live and work now. And then like there's like an electrical thing that started a fire, and that guy ended up dying down there. And the guy got out of the house. He's like, I think there's somebody in there. And like the fireman went into the house, and then they ended up like finding this like miles of tunnels that went to all of his neighbors. He didn't like go into his neighbors' houses. He just got to the point where he could, if need be, when the apocalypse came. Like he was like a doomsday prepper that didn't go on the show, like. But it was insane. Like, think about that, people. Your neighbor could have
I was like, how did you get this from my neighbor? Talking about my neighbors.
Well, yeah, because how is it?
I get you.
That anytime neighbors comes up, now I think about that. I'm glad I live on the second story of an apartment complex because now I don't have to worry about somebody being in my floor. Like, this guy was like, he didn't want to kill anybody. He didn't want to do anything crazy, but he wanted to be ready for if things went down. He would have an underground passage to go and get supplies and to whatever. And
I feel like that's the way to go. Like in the event of a zombie apocalypse, underground is the place you need to be.
yeah, that guy was ready. Like, I wonder what they like. You ever watch Cities of the Underworld? Great show. Watch it. Everybody watch it.
Where's it on?
It's on History Channel, and it's actually historical. It's not like Pawn Star bullshit. Yeah, I'm coming after you, Pawn Stars. I don't know if Drew is ready to get on this bullet train.
Yeah, Rick.
Yeah.
And Chumley.
Yeah, Chumley.
And Big Hoss.
Give up the act, Chumley. We know you're not
dumb.
Yeah.
He owns a candy shop in Las Vegas now. Good for him, huh?
Yeah. I think he would have gotten fired from that job had the show not been like, we like Chumley.
Probably.
Do you think that they created that character, or do you think he's a real guy?
Chumley?
Yeah.
He's a real guy.
I am very skeptical of everything I see on TV.
I think like you can tell like a lot of the stuff in that show is scripted.
he could be the greatest actor of all time.
It's possible.
He's like super smart.
But,
He's like a
but he's
genius.
only stuck in that
But
role.
But he
can only be Chumley.
Yeah, his first role was Chumley, and he was like, "Shit, this went for 13 years. This was only supposed to go for a
Typecast.
year." Yeah, well, I guess I got to open a candy store.
Tries out for a Scorsese movie, and he's just like, Chumley, get the fuck out of here.
You can be an assistant that doesn't
You're
get to
Chumley.
do anything, but
yeah. What do you think this is?
yeah, he should go on Deadliest Catch.
Yeah.
I think we should call them and be like, hey, I got an idea for you. Like, who wouldn't watch that? Like, you guys want a resurgence of Pawn Stars and Deadliest Catch? I don't know if they've gone away. I don't have cable. But make Chumley go and be a greenhorn for a year.
I don't know if Pawn Stars is still a show. Pawn
Stars.
God damn it. You hear that?
How do you say bagel?
Bagel?
I don't know if that's wrong, but there's a wrong way to say bagel, apparently.
Bagel?
There's
Boggle?
It's like I
Bagel.
can't.
How do you say bag?
There's bag L, which is how I say bagel. Bagel. There's differences.
I say bagel, but I say bag.
Yeah, and that's the wrong way. Apparently, if you go to New
Bag
York,
is the wrong way?
Yeah, if you go to New York, they'll make fun of you for saying bagel.
I feel like a lot of people in Wisconsin say bag.
Bag?
Bag. I say bag.
Maybe you're right. Now I don't know. This is the thing where I hear people go, "Okay, you say bagel. You're supposed to say bagel or bagel," and I go, "What's the difference?" I don't know the difference.
What do you call?
Drives me crazy.
What do you call the thing that
The thing.
you
I call
say
it the thing.
that you say the Pledge of Allegiance to?
The flag. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
No, the flag.
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 I say flag.
You do say flag.
You say
and I
flag.
say flag.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting to the bottom of what my therapist is talking about here.
I think in Illinois, they say flag,
Flag.
and I think more Wisconsin people say
It's flag.
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 They pronounce flag. I say flag. And I say bag.
So yeah, and I say bag.
What do chickens lay?
Eggs.
Eggs. Some people
What
say
eggs?
eggs.
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 And so when we say eggs.
I say eggs.
Eggs.
What do
Now I don't know what I say.
What do cows produce?
Milk.
Yeah. Some people say milk.
Milk.
You've never heard someone say milk?
Weirdos.
Yeah, milk.
It's milk.
Right.
But that's like Wisconsin and Wisconsin. Do you say Wisconsin or
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
The
Some people
emphasis
say
is
Wisconsin.
on Wisconsin. Some people say Wisconsin, or I've heard people in California say Wisconsin, like WES.
And they think they're right.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
They fucking take the slogan "Happy cows come from California." Go fuck yourself, California.
No, there's a war
Those
between-
fucking cows
yeah.
came from Wisconsin, bitch. That's what I say. Fuck
Only
your milk.
The only thing about that is that it's. I have a real problem with this. Like, happy cows come from Wisconsin, which means depressed cows come from, or happy cows come from California, which means depressed cows come from Wisconsin. I would prefer to move to California to be happy. So I almost agree with the slogan, like where winter makes me depressed, therefore maybe it makes cows depressed.
Maybe.
So it's like I go, fuck you, California, but you might be right, but fuck you anyway.
Maybe their cows live longer. There's not as many slaughtered. They're called the dairy state, but they're also one of the biggest states in the fucking country.
Yeah, they're just
Like, you're gonna have more cows.
Yeah, right. Like,
Fuck you, California.
yeah, you don't get to be everything.
Yeah. You know, we get it. You're the home of the stars, Hollywood. You had the governor for a little bit. You know what? Fuck you.
Yeah. You're going to break off into the sea, and then let's see how fucking...
Think you're cool? You think
so
you're cool
can
because you
surf back to the
legalize
mainland.
marijuana? You think you're good because you got the chronic at every store that you can just go walk into? Yeah, that might be cool, but you know what? We got the Packers, bitch.
But seriously, I want to come there and live for a little while, just before the earthquake hits. Again.
I'd like to go to... I mean, I've been to California, not since high school, but...
Why'd you come back?
I was on a school trip.
So?
I was required to come back.
They did a head count. Couldn't just put
Wouldn't that be something?
Could have put a happy cow on that
What
bus.
would you do? What would you do if you're a teacher and all of a sudden you're at the airport, you got like 50 students and number 51, nowhere to be found? Do you leave? Does everyone else go?
Right? Like, you just drive the bus off a cliff and go...
Does everyone else get to leave and you stay while you're looking for one kid in the state of California, let alone the city of Los Angeles? Like
yeah, right?
You're not going to find that person.
Well, that's the insane thing about, like...
That's fucking crazy.
Like, when somebody's like... You know, like when somebody would like leave the mob or leave a gang or whatever, and it's
Right.
like, I'm so afraid to leave. They'll find me. It's like, there's fucking 7 billion people.
Go to Arizona, dude. They won't find you.
Like, you could go anywhere. How are they? As long as you use cash, like you can go in any direction. What are you talking about?
You could go north. You could just go to fucking Northern California. They're not going to find you.
Yeah, right? I mean, yeah. You could go to the north side of town and probably get away with
Right.
it. Like, there's so many people, like... But, you know, if you watch Seinfeld, apparently you run into people that...
Shit happens, dude.
Yeah, you know, it's like the crazy, like... you know, you go, I'm going to go to Qdoba today. And then they're like...
Isn't that weird?
I'm gonna go to Qdoba today.
Isn't like that gang mentality kind of weird? Like you're in it for life, and it's like if you decide to leave, they're just gonna kill you. But like they were like your best friends previously.
Well, yeah, they're like, you're my brother. We're blood brothers or whatever.
Let's
like,
try to leave.
But then it's like,
gonna
hey,
fucking
man,
kill you.
I got to get out of this because I got an opportunity to live a good life and da-da-da. Wait, you ain't going to be earning for me no more? You ain't going to be earning for me? Then this blood out, bitch. That means you don't leave.
Is that the terminology?
Yeah, blood in, blood out. Yeah,
Isn't that a movie?
maybe.
Blood in, blood out?
It should be.
I think it is.
There Will Be Blood is a movie.
With the Vatos Locos. It's called Blood in, blood out.
Oh, well, that's a real saying.
You know more than I do.
I don't.
I don't.
We might be two white guys on a porch right now. That,
I don't
live in a small
I don't represent
town.
any
Yeah,
set.
Yeah, so I had a blue bandana that I had in my pocket during the heat wave to wipe my face with, and people were giving me shit about how I was a Crip or something.
Is that Crips are blue, Bloods are
Yeah, it
red?
was blue.
That would make sense.
But it was an NPR bandana, so I thought it was funny.
I'm with the National Public Radio,
yeah,
bitch.
yeah, yo.
Fuck satellite
Fuck
radio.
around.
Fuck you, Sirius. Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't it be kind of funny if the Bloods like color was green?
There was a actual gang in California that had green bandanas, and they called themselves the Cactus Bunch. And I'm not joking.
The Cactus Punch
Bunch. The Cactus Bunch.
That sounds like an '80s cover band from like Arizona.
It sounds like an Arizona children's show that's
could
put
be.
on
Yeah, the
live
Cactus Bunch.
in a theater. Yeah,
Right,
like
like the Cabbage Patch Kids.
It's like a children's improv group in Arizona, the Cactus
Yeah.
Bunch, you know. But no, it was a real gang in California that had green bandanas.
Huh? Who knew?
Yeah. The things you learn if you listen to the right people at the right time.
You know, I feel like Mr. Rogers never talked about gangs.
You know there's a gang in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, though. Like,
Yeah, those puppets.
certain puppets, they banded together.
You know, Tom Hanks is playing Mr. Rogers in a movie.
Is that what...
It's called Won't You Be My Neighbor, I think. Maybe. I don't know.
That sounds right.
I think it's weird that Tom Hanks is playing Mr. Like, I guess I understand it. But at the same time, like, it's...
Do you think Tom Hanks could go back to comedic roles like Big?
He started as a comedic actor. I don't know, maybe. Wilson.
Yeah, that's... and then he went down in history as the Wilson guy.
You know,
Good movie.
I got emotional when that part came up.
I think you're supposed to.
Your friends float away, you know, whether it's a volleyball or a real person.
Yeah.
Something you love floats away. It's a bummer. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine surviving on a deserted island? Finally, you get where you need to be, and your wife is married to somebody else because presumably you're supposed to be dead. He was probably legally dead, huh?
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Did he go back to the island, right? He got a Wilson ball and left.
Did he?
I think that's how it ended.
No.
Yeah, I swear to God. He got a Wilson ball, and they showed him getting on a plane, and that was like the end of it. Like, he was like, fuck society. This place sucks.
Really?
I think so. I have to rewatch it.
I've seen it one time, and that was when it came out, and I'm pretty sure I was very young.
I feel like that's the ending of it. Which, did you see Swiss Army Man?
I started watching it, but
Everybody
I didn't
should
finish
watch
it.
that movie.
Good?
That movie makes... That's a very emotional movie for me.
I did. I didn't
But
finish
really
it.
good.
I started watching it.
And really, okay, this is something that I did want to talk about. I went on a journey this morning after work. I went on a mental learning journey.
Looking where to bury the body?
No, that comes later.
Oh.
But I watched a bunch of documentaries on some really good directors, and I watched Making the Myth 2001, so about A Space Odyssey.
Sure.
Which is a great movie. And something that somebody said in that was really interesting to me, where like they were like talking, one of the visual guys, like the guys that did the visual engineering or effects or whatever. And he was like, at a certain point we had to break it down and figure out a way to look outside the box. And he was like, and once I started looking at film as instead of a bunch of pictures that made up a story, and actually and broke down that wall and said, actually, it's a combination of light that creates a picture over time or something like that. It was really I was like, holy shit, imagine thinking, if you could think about that in terms of life, life is just light that creates information. And how we just, and how our brain interprets it. It was man, it really made me go, man, I need to start looking at things differently. I think.
Sure.
But really good documentary. I watched one on George Lucas. I watched one on John Milius.
Oh.
He did Apocalypse Now and Dirty Harry. I think he wrote Dirty Harry. He didn't direct it, but he was a good writer. And then he got into directing. But
you like Clint Eastwood?
I can't say because I don't watch a lot of his movies.
I've seen Heartbreak Ridge, which he was in. I think it's what it's called. And then I've seen the first Dirty Harry, and I was just like,
Is there a second one?
There's a lot of them.
Oh, didn't know.
I think there's at least 4 or 5.
I think it's hard to appreciate Dirty Harry now. Because
there's so many more better movies.
Well, when it came out, it revolutionized this idea of the dialogue in it. That was John Milius's.
Do you feel lucky?
I know. I'm.
Well, do you, punk?
Well, yeah, but
stick 'em up, eh?
It's so easy to make fun of that, but and I know you're joking, but I'm being serious. That relies on that shows depth in that character from that one line, and it's there wasn't a lot of people doing that at that time, And it's I just watched a documentary on this, so I'm a fucking expert,
right?
I know what to say.
I once watched a documentary on
these are my thoughts. These are not the thoughts of the people in the documentary, even though I've never seen the movie.
I've watched a documentary on how Sir Paul McCartney is not Sir Paul.
Oh yeah, Paul died in 1966. I believe that fully.
You truly believe that?
I do. Absolutely, I do.
So this guy now, he's just rolling in the dough, all for a facade.
I feel like George Harrison was almost murdered for letting the cat out of the bag, and I almost think John Lennon was murdered for because he was going to let the cat out of the bag.
Wow.
Yeah.
Somebody on Twitter asked us what our favorite conspiracy was, and I didn't answer the question because I didn't know.
That's a good one for me. I do believe Paul McCartney is not Paul McCartney.
All right.
That's just.
I think there's some shit at Area 51. Not anymore. I think there was.
Yeah. Well, if they even had it there up until that Facebook thing, you know, but
they see that and they're just like, shit, we gotta move this stuff now.
You know, open that tunnel back up.
Yeah. Bernie Sanders was recently on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I'm not here to talk about politics, but he said if he's elected president, that he'll let us know if there's aliens.
Oh, that's cool. I feel like they've already came out and said there's aliens.
Have they?
I feel like don't fact check it. Just believe it.
I want to.
Good. You want to believe.
I want to believe.
Yeah. What's up with Moody?
I was gonna say I don't fucking know.
We got a new like on the Facebook page recently, and I was like, oh, I feel bad for that guy.
I don't know. We can keep doing it. We barely find time to do this one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a while before we can get back into that.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad. I like doing it, but
it's fun.
I wish, and I talked about this with you privately, but I wish I would have told all my friends on Facebook about this podcast instead of that podcast.
It's all right.
Because I don't want to like throw this one out there and then be like, oh, Rob's doing another podcast. It'll probably go 6 episodes and then be done. So what's the point? You know? And it's like, this one's established.
Hundreds.
Yeah. This one's
of millions of billions.
Got a catalog.
Yeah, we got a catalog.
Don't you want to hear my most embarrassing life stories? Because I will tell them.
They're there. They're present.
They are around.
But what's not embarrassing, Rob? Bell's Brewery.
Yeah.
Oberon Ale, American wheat ale.
Yeah, I feel no shame that I drank this beer.
I drank it as well. It's mildly fruity aromas and the color and scent of a sunny afternoon. And you know what? It's a sunny evening. It's very nice. And I like it. It was good. Went down smooth, went down crisp. I feel great. I don't feel
it's good barbecue beer.
I feel intoxicated, not from the alcohol, but from the company, from the atmosphere, from the blue skies, from the crisp breeze pulling on my face, the aromas of a home sweet home and a delicious beer to my side.
Yeah, it made me feel
that
one with the universe.
Me. I can look up to the sky and know that yes, this is my life. This is my only life, and I'm here to YOLO.
Yeah,
live once, bitch.
So is that your favorite conspiracy theory?
You only live once?
Yeah.
I like the idea of reincarnation.
Why is the reincarnation considered a conspiracy theory, or not really a conspiracy theory, but a theory that's like kind of puts you on the fringe, but you only live once is considered like normal?
Look at that. Because maybe you only live once as a person.
But what about, I'm talking consciousness here.
Right. I don't know, man. It's a good thought.
Ponder that, listeners.
Ponder it.
And drink Oberon.
Fuck you, Drake. Uh-oh. What just happened? Oh, what the fuck? Oh, God. Hit stop, Drew. Hit stop.
Pew, pew! Audio. Goodbye, everyone.